Despair Academy.
Hey everyone, Ultimate Despair here and welcome to Saya no Ute, the Song of Saya. Now, I know absolutely nothing about this game. What I do know, however, is that the game is famous, or rather infamous, for being extremely disturbing, violent, and very grotesque. This is also the director's cut of the game, fully uncensored. I might still need to censor some scenes if they are too extreme or if there's sexual content, but this is the definitive version of the game, so pure discretion is advised. It is also made by the same developer as You and Me and Her, a love story, so we're gonna be in for a treat. Thanks to everyone who voted for this game in the community poll, and if you want to become a member of the Despair Academy, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel for daily uploads. Now, set the mood, dim the lights, wear headphones, as we find out how truly messed up this game is. This work of fiction contains grotesque images that may disturb some viewers. Please select how you would like such images displayed. Pfft. Default, of course. I don't want to censor stuff. Shock me. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's very loud. Hold on. Okay. The wriggling mass of flesh burbles. We're off to an amazing start, aren't we? Three such creatures stood around the table in front of me, slurping filthy sludge from their cups as they trade whines, growls, and sounds that I can't describe. Okay, we're like not even 2 minutes in and I'm already kind of grossed out. Off to an amazing start. Okay, yeah, that's the flesh that hates. By listening carefully, I'm able to grasp the gist of their conversation and respond when it is required of me. This is necessary to avoid arousing their suspicion. However these creatures look, they are my friends, apparently. Well, you've clearly seen better days. I wish that I could still deny it, but I gave up on that long time ago. Night after night, I went to sleep praying for an end to this nightmare, only to wake each morning to the same twisted hellscape as the day before. I know now that I have to blend in, that I have to act like one of them. Such has been my life these past 3 months, and so it will remain until the day I die. Yes, I agree. Judging by its tone, this one must be Koji, and the one next to him, squealing more than the others, is probably Omi. Which means that the one next to me, is Yo. Though I can no longer see any trace of her once attractive features, I try my best to ignore the rotten stench of excrement that issues from her quivering flesh. Oh, so your friends got turned into nightmare blobs. Who are apparently still conscious? I don't know. Everything has changed. Or almost everything. By some cruel trick of fate, my relationship to the world alone remains the same. As if an insane architect took the blueprints of my life and rebuilt it out of blood and gore. These monsters and I were part of the same college club. We studied together, ate together. We even went skiing together every winter break. Now these are but painful memories of days that will never return. If only no one recognized me, I might have been able to disconnect myself from the world. It would have been comforting in comparison to believe that I had been abducted by aliens, or that I had stumbled through a gateway to hell. But no, this is beyond a doubt the city where I was born and raised. The society that I was part of for 20 years, save that I, and I alone, can no longer see it that way. The world as I knew it is gone. I have no place to call home. Anyway, I can tell that whatever they're discussing is of no importance to me. I decide to keep quiet while pretending to listen. But just then... Hey, Fuminori. One of the flesh beasts says as it swivels its bloodshot eyes towards me. What do you think? About what? I try desperately to suppress my loathing and behave normally, but my hoarse voice turns... What? But my hoarse voice ruins the attempt. We're talking about this year's ski trip. You're coming too, right? A slimy hole near the top of the creature's writhes nauseatingly as it vomits some semblance of words. It must be Koji's face, or what I would have seen as such 3 months ago. Unable to stomach the sight of it, I avert my eyes and give a neutral answer. I don't know. You have other plans? Not really. These were my closest companions. One of them had even wished to be more. How many nights have I spent crying in loneliness, lamenting the friends who no longer exist? In 3 months my tears ran dry, and now there is only loathing left in me, surrounded by hideous creatures that I can only assume are Koji, Omi and Yo. I spend each day trying to act as I always have. If I fail at this, I'll surely be sent back to the hospital. Only this time, I'll be locked away forever. No matter what, I won't let that happen. I mean, it's not like physical activity could affect your injuries, right? I'm not sure. I'll ask Doc during my checkup. That's it. I can't look at them or bear their screeching any longer. I jump to my feet, desperate to escape. Hey, Fuminori. A spray of stringy slime from the cilia around its voice box flies at me. I try to cover myself, but too late to keep the slime from splattering across my face like the yolk of a rotten egg. I'm about to lose it. I want to grab a chair, a desk, anything within reach, and use it to smash the life out of the creature, ending it all. I mean, that probably would be the preferable outcome. I barely suppress the impulse. I mustn't let on that something is wrong. However they look to me, this is their world. I'm the outsider here. Like I said, today's my checkup. Got to go. Struggling to put on a smile, I reach for my wallet, put out the first bill I find and put it on the table without even looking at it. I don't care about the change, I just need to get out of here, now. Later, I mutter hastily and flee the cafeteria. I'm not crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. Hey, says Takahata Omni, why don't we go somewhere we can skate for this year's ski trip? Tsukuba Yo frowns I can do it. Frowns at the suggestion. Skate? But why go to a ski resort to skate? Haha, give her a break, Tsukuba. It's all she talks about these days. Tono Koji supports Omi with a laugh. Her impromptu suggestions are nothing new, and it's Koji's role as a boyfriend to provide backup. They're a good match for each other, Yo thinks. Sometimes it makes her jealous. I mean, she'd seriously never gone skating before. I took her the other day. Hey, is it really that strange? Not many people start skating in their 20s, you know. I was scared when I was little. Those shoes looked like big knives. But you picked it up just like that? It's pretty amazing, Omi. It's not like skiing. You keep your weight forward and use the angle of the shoes to steer. You made it sound so easy. I figured I should give it a try. And it was fun. Okay. Right away. Not a big fan of how they present the text boxes. I prefer them, you know, traditional visual novel style, being down here. But I'll get used to it. So it was a date. Yo feels a stab of envy. Koji and Omi enjoy their time together as normal lovers do. That's certainly not something that should make her jealous. It's just that her luck in love has been bad. Oh well, I want to see Omi skate too. Yo keeps her voice upbeat, trying to cover up with this quiet. Or can I maybe change? Oops. Can I maybe change that? Config menu? I don't see any of that. Oh well. Can't be helped. She knows that it's wrong to envy her friends. She too would be spending time with the man she admires, if not for the terrible tragedy that befell him. His true misfortune. Her bad luck doesn't begin to compare. So how about it? If we make the next ski trip a skating trip too, it'll be twice as fun. But you can skate at the skating rink, can't you? Why go all the way to a ski resort? I don't want to skate indoors. I want to skate outside. On a lake or something. That sounds fun, but won't it be crowded? While speaking, Yo sneaks a sideways glance at the young man sitting next to her. Although the conversation has involved only 3 people so far, there are in fact 2 couples at the cafeteria table. Yo's boyfriend, though there's still some doubt over whether he could be called that, is beside her, as silent as expressionless as a statue. Well, aren't you a Chad? Hey Fuminori, what do you think? Oh, that posture. Perhaps Koji sensed Yo's pain in his usual quiet and considerate way. Okay, so I'm guessing what we saw in the beginning there is kind of like the end or like the middle of the game, and now we are flashing back. Okay, I like it. But what? The cause of Yo's distress, Sakisaka Fuminori responds to Koji's sudden query with a vague, mumbled question of his phone. We're talking about this winter ski trip. You're coming too, right? Koji speaks gingerly, as though probing a tumor. A few months ago, he would not have hesitated to rebuke Fuminori for his attitude. The long acquaintance had forged a strong and honest friendship, but now... I just can't fucking read today, what the hell. I don't know, Fuminori responds bluntly, his downcast eyes and sullen demeanor making it clear that he has no desire to break the silence. You have plans? Not really. Even Koji, Fuminori's best friend, cannot communicate with him as before. What hope does Yo have of breaking through his shell? The scars left by the events of that late summer day are still deep all these months later. Each one of the four bears on them, not only Fuminori. I mean, it's not like physical activity could affect your injuries, right? Not sure, I'll ask the doctor during my checkup. As though that answer drained the last of his patience, Fuminori bolts out of his chair. Hey, Fuminori. Even Koji can't keep his voice from rising as he tries to stop Fuminori from leaving. Fuminori reacts swiftly, throwing his hand over his face as though to shield himself from something terrifying. Maybe some spirits flew in... what the hell is that word? Inadvertently. I believe that's the first time I've seen that word written out. Well, whatever. From Koji's mouth. But that happens sometimes. Fuminori's reaction is beyond the pale. He's got 1,000 yards there. Like I said, Fuminori snaps, making no attempt to really relive the discomfort of his friends. Relieve. I just really can't talk today, holy shit. I'm not even that tired. Today's my checkup, I have to go. Even as he tosses money on the table to pay for his coffee, he acts like he's touching something filthy. Or maybe just the whole block of text is giving me some trouble. As I said, I prefer kind of like the text box being down here. Later. But yeah, it's this style of this game, so... Fuminori stalks out of the cafeteria, almost as if he's running away. Cloaked in heavy silence, the remaining three lower their gaze to the table, where the abandoned 10,000 yen bill sways... What the hell? Man, this session was cursed, gotta say. Forlornly. I have never seen that word in my life. Fuminori's coffee is untouched. I can't take this anymore, Omi says with a sigh, but Koji shakes his head reproachfully. Fuminori just needs a little more time. But it's been 3 months, what's with his attitude? I feel like I'm going crazy hanging around him. Hey, I don't understand what he's going through either. I don't think any of us can. Oh, or is this like... Or is this the same scene from the beginning, but just in crap, what's his name? In Fuminori's head. Like he's imagining all these things. Interesting. Can you imagine losing your whole family like that? That'll screw anyone up. So he's going absolutely cuckoo. God. Could have happened to anyone. A tractor trailer flipped over on the highway, crushing the Sakisawa family car into twisted scrap. They said it had been difficult to tell the bodies of Fuminori's parents apart. Oh, that's rough, buddy. For a while it had looked as if there was no hope for Fuminori either. It was nothing short of a miracle that he was able to leave the hospital and return to a normal life. It was worse when we went to see him in the hospital, remember? He was terrified of us. Like he didn't know who we were. He even had to be tied to the bed. He freaked out so bad. Oh, so it's all in his head. Well, thanks for confirming that. I'm just glad he's made it this far. It has to be so terrifying, like holy shit. Still something strange about him. What's with the way he looks at us? It's like we're not even human. But the question is, what is real? Are the flesh monsters real, or are his like regular human friends real? Cut it out, Omi, Koji says forcefully, probably less out of empathy for his friend than out of consideration for Yo. While Koji's kindness makes her happy, Yo also knows that she mustn't take advantage of it. Fuminori is the victim, just as Koji said. He's the one who must deserve sympathy. Yo's feelings for Fuminori are a problem, and no one else's. She doesn't blame Fuminori for not giving her an answer after she worked up her courage to ask him out. In fact, she thinks even more fondly of him for taking the time to consider that she would have had he treated her relationship casually. I'm so sorry, oh man, for fumbling that hard. Apparently the fact that Fuminori did not reject her was enough to make them a couple in Koji and Omi's eyes. They've had plenty of fun at Yo and Fuminori's expense since. The truth of it, though, is that he still hasn't given her an answer. After revealing her feelings to him, Yo didn't see Fuminori again until a week later, and then she could only stare at his broken body through the window of the ICU. Maybe I just need a drink. Maybe that's it. Stay hydrated. And when he was finally released, after 50 days that seemed an eternity, he was somehow different. She's starting to doubt that he even remembers what she confessed to him before the accident. Now winter is coming and her feelings hang forgotten in the cold, lonely air. Dr. Tambo Ryoko has never had a more troublesome patient. Oh, she's a baddie! Holy moly! Any changes since your last visit? No, nothing to speak of. His voice is hard and flat, his words tossed carelessly into the air. It's like he's speaking to himself in an empty room. Ryoko is a surgeon, not a psychiatrist, but even she can sense the thickness of the wall he has erected between himself and the wall. Do you have to throw in so many sexual words in like this one sentence? Like, okay. Any nausea, dizziness, or hallucinations? No. I mean, sure, keep lying. While Sakisaka appears to be looking at Ryoko, his gaze is actually aimed a fraction down and to the side. He's only superficially engaged in the conversation, when in truth it does not interest him in the slightest. Perfect rejection. Realizing that she can't interview him like this, Ryoko sighs and sets her child aside. Mr. Sakisaka, the procedure you received at the hospital was the latest in experimental neurosurgery. We explained this before, didn't we? Ah, so neural surgery. Okay. Treatment of subdural hematoma through the use of micromachines, procedure available in Japan exclusively here at T University, had been the only way to save Sakisaka Fuminori from a cerebral contusion that should have been fatal. I mean, considering his condition, it's probably better if he's just dead. With any experimental treatment, there is always the risk of unexpected complications. I think I know why I'm just having such trouble reading, because it's like the words are in front of images, and not just at the bottom. Take me back. I don't know, maybe all visual novels were like that back then. Because I believe this game is quite old. Like 20 years old or something. Sakisaka Fuminori's lips twist slightly in what might be a bitter or mocking smile, but it is gone before Ryoko can discern its meaning. Normally I would never say anything to frighten a patient, but there have been reports of serious neurological disorders post-surgery. We must continue to monitor your condition carefully. Hence these weekly checkups, if only we would take them a little more seriously. How was last week's MRI? Sakisaka asks abruptly, as if to catch Ryoko off guard. MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, is a way for doctors to examine the brain in detail without opening the patient's skull. Surprised by Sakisaka's uncommon technical knowledge, Ryoko recalls the profile. Oh, that's right. You're a medical student, aren't you? Kind of anomaly you're worried about should show up on the MRI, right? Did you find anything? No. There was nothing, not the slightest hint of abnormal activity. For a procedure with such a low rate of success, the results have been nothing short but miraculous. However, something still bothers Ryoko. She can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something beneath his guarded exterior. Some terrible weight on his soul, perhaps. But if it's an inorganic problem, then there's nothing she can do as long as he refuses to explain it. I'm fine. I've been on my own for 3 months without any problems. What could go wrong now? I don't know, a lot. Please, you know that continued observation is required after these difficult surgeries. You have to trust us a little more. I suppose you're right. I do want to trust you, Doctor. Can I come to you with anything? Yes, of course, Ryoko answers. Also, her voice is fucking hot, like holy shit. Smiling to cover up her irritation. Sakisaka asked exactly the same question during last week's visit. Well then, let's pick up where we left off. Have you learned anything about Dr. Ogai? Unable to answer, Ryoko hardens the mask of a smile. As before, the patient is inquiring about someone whom he had no business knowing. If you don't mind my asking, what does Dr. Ogai have to do with your treatment? You just told me to trust you, and now you're keeping secrets? Ryoko is used to patients treating her with hostility, Some degree of paranoia is natural when dealing with a person whose mistakes could kill you. In Sakisaka, however, she doesn't see the anxiety that other patients exhibit. His demeanor is perfectly calm, almost like a detective questioning a suspect. He left his hospital some time ago. I never had any contact with him myself. Do you know why he left? Yes, I believe it was personal. Ryoko answered smoothly, her earlier hesitation gone. Having decided at the outset not to lie, she has no trouble doing so with a straight face. But why do you keep asking about Dr. Ogai? Are you acquainted? Did you know that the doctor has gone missing? No. Ryoko realized that her answer may have been a little too quick. She should have acted more surprised. I've recently become close with a relative of his. It was she who asked me to find him. A relative? Ryoko considers this with a frown. I didn't think Dr. Ogai had any relatives. Oh, who told you that? I heard it from a nurse, Ryoko replies, remembering that she just claimed to have had no contact with the man. I see, the doctor was famous enough to have nurses gossiping about him. I hear he was an unusual man. But no one knows why he left the university. Ryoko falls silent, knowing that this isn't a topic she can brush away with a smile. Sakisaka seems to have finally grasped her mood, however, as his strangely stiff tone softens a little. Please, I have to find Dr. Ogai. There's a girl who needs him. Can't you help me? Isn't this something the police should handle? Although she makes it sound like the most obvious thing in the world, the suggestion is actually a gamble. If Ogai Masahiko's disappearance becomes a police matter, then the university will be investigated. Everyone who was involved in the incident will be at risk of exposure. And of course, that includes Ryoko herself. She knows, however, that Sakisaka is unlikely to go to the police. First of all, his excuse is obviously a lie. They already made sure that Ogai had no relatives who might come looking for him, which is why they could bury the truth of what happened. So you made him disappear, okay. But then how did Sakisaka, a mere patient, learn about Ogai? I'd be happy to help, but there's been no word from Dr. Ogai since he resigned last April. I can only assume that he's gone on extended vacation. I see. Expecting resistance, Ryoko is surprised when Sakisaka backs down. She's still worried about his condition, and the mysterious link between him and Ogai is only making her more uneasy. She's still worried about his but as long as he doesn't open up to her, there's nothing she can do. After a brief pause, Ryoko writes progress good on Sakisaka's chart for today. Upon next week's appointment, how does 4 o'clock against her? Before she can finish, Sakisaka's gone.
Ultimate Despair Live.